All right. Well, last time I streamed, it gave me an option to select in YouTube Studio to go live. But this time I just started going live. So here we are. Cheers. So, bit of a surprise stream. I didn't plan any of this, but I wanted to do just a quick little video that's kind of revisiting a video I did earlier in 2020, which is to look at mixing your audio for your YouTube videos. So there's a few lawn care channels that I'm subscribed to that I find the audio is very quiet, and it's tricky if they have music in the video, because you'd be listening to the video on whatever volume you're listening at to be able to hear their voice, and then all of a sudden music starts playing, and it just you got to throw the headphones off because it's so dang loud. So what I want to talk about a little bit today is my process for getting audio out of my videos, editing it, and then dropping it back in. So with that, we will get into it. This is tomorrow's video. So I figured it was as good of a time as any to go and just hop live and knock it out. So I want to bring this over here. And so OBS, come back. You can blame it all on me. There we go. So actually what's on screen. So if you want to know how to get edited microphone settings into OBS, actually, it's this plugin right here, which is really slick. It's a free plugin. It's called Voxengo Recorder. So basically what this is doing is, since I have an dedicated audio interface that this microphone's coming through, OBS doesn't like to let that live with your computer audio and Forte audio. So this splits it, and you can get audio into OBS, which is we go into that's fun, but then it's sending the audio in here. So with that, I have the video here and you go away, and what I'm doing. So my video editing software, I wouldn't actually recommend getting this, but it works. And so I'm going to combine the audio of all of these files. I'm sure if you have a better video editing software, you can do this literally within the video software itself, but I don't have that. And that'll mix down the audio from all those videos, remove the video clip or the audio clip from the video clip, and then I'm left with this file, which then I'm going to bring into Reaper, which is this software that we're looking at over up here. And so what I can do is I can bring that in here, and then we can mess with it to make it sound a little better, and make it, most importantly, to make it much, much louder. So I have actually an effect channel, effects chain saved for all of my videos, since I'm doing the same thing week in and week out. So in here, lawn care effects chain, and this will take a minute to load up because it can often, it's got to refresh the licenses and go through all sorts of how's she doing. And then once that's done and ready to go, which it is now, perfect. So you can see the effect chain that I have. So I start with a de-esser, which, if you're not familiar with what a de-esser does, that is taking basically a very targeted compressor. So it is going to only listen to this frequency, which is 5.5K, and it's going to pull down and compress the S sounds. That's actually what I have right here. So you can see as basically it's listening to that and pulling it down to make the S's not so bad. So we can listen to this. It ain't happening. This is so cool. I'm so glad I tried this. You should too. Not a lot of content anymore out in the yard, as I'm sure for those of you subscribed to my channel, you've seen year in review type videos. So I just want that to grab the audio just during the S's. So it's just going to pull those down and take the harshness off of that, because it's not really a pleasant thing to listen to. And then we come into here. I have a subscription to Slate Digital Virtual Mix Rack, actually all their plugins. But all this is, and you can use stock plugins, and actually the video I did back in March uses just stock plugins that come with Reaper, which is a free software. So this is a compressor, and conceptually what a compressor is doing is it is taking the loudest parts of audio and turning them down so that you can bring the whole audio feed up. So we're making all the quiet stuff a little bit louder, at the cost of the loudest stuff coming down and not being so loud. So we can let this play, and each one of these dots on the screen, the 1, 2, 3, 4 is how many dB, a unit of sound measure, how many dB we're turning it down. And again, that's going to allow us to pull the whole thing back up.
It ain't happening. This is so cool. I'm so glad I tried this. You should too. Not a lot of content anymore out in the yard, as I'm sure for those of you subscribed to my channel, you've seen year review type videos. I've done a live stream on cost.
All right, so you can watch. I actually have two instances. So this is a compressor first here, and then an EQ, which is an equalizer. So this is changing the volume of specific frequencies. So what I've done is basically taken all the information below 89 hertz and just made it go away, because there's nothing down. The only thing that's down there is the rumble of vehicles around me, wind rumble. It's nothing good is down there, so we want to get rid of it. Then I am boosting everything underneath 150 hertz by that amount, because that's bringing in some richness in my speaking voice. It's bringing out kind of the chestiness, if you will. Pulling out 600 because my voice is kind of nasally inherently, and we're trying to address that a little bit. 2.5K is harsh, and then we're giving a little bit of high end, which is going to help with intelligibility, help you understand, hear the speaking voice a little bit better. Also, one thing I didn't mention with this compressor is it's a ratio of 4:1, so you have to be 4 dB over the threshold for 1 dB to go through. And then after the EQ, I have a compressor again set to 20:1. So basically what I'm doing with audio then is I'm taking a little bit off, and then at the very top, taking even more off. So we're just trying to, again, take away the loudest peaks so that we can bring the whole thing up. And that's what that's doing. Then I have one more instance of a de-esser, which is this here. It's just a different plugin that I have, again, through the Slate subscription that I have. And then a limiter. So what a limiter is, kind of another compressor in theory, but instead of having a ratio where some sound still comes through, consider it a solid brick ceiling. It will not let anything over a certain volume pass through at all. Usually that's 0, so you're taking away any clipping, and then this will allow me to push up the audio signal even further to basically get loudness that you would be comfortable with listening on TV, other professional YouTube videos, if you will. And so that's set to boost about 9.5 dB. But I do mess with this every video, because if we watch, what I want is this root mean squared. I don't know what that means, but it's measuring like average volume. I target about -16, -15, somewhere in there. I feel like that matches the music that I have in the videos okay. Radio is probably mixing to like -8, -9. Songs are limited much more heavily, the loudness wars, if you will. But I find 15, 16 to be still natural, but loud enough.
It ain't happening. This is so cool. I'm so glad I tried this. You should too. Not a lot of content anymore out in the yard, as I'm sure for those.
So if you see, again, it just loads up right there, ready to go. Largely because, again, this is a preset. This is something I've set based on my voice, which doesn't really change video to video. So let's take a listen quick, and I will turn on and off all of the plugins, and you can hear the difference that we're making.
It ain't happening. This is so cool. I'm so glad I tried this. You should too. not a lot of content anymore out in the yard, as I'm sure for those of you subscribed to my channel, you've seen year in review type videos. I've done a live stream on cost analysis, and you should go check that video out. Ask the questions you might have in there, as I think the info was somewhat useful. All I want to do right now. So again, you'll maybe hear some changes in how my voice sounds, but really the biggest things that you're hearing are that volume come up. And again, that's what's going to make it competitive, listenable for my viewer, to be able to just hear me, really, at a level that they're used to listening to everything else on their phone, on their headphones, on, whatever it might be. So that's it. That's literally the extent of audio editing. I will bring songs and stuff in here and edit those in and out as needed. If I have a time lapse or something that I want to put music over, I do that in here. But beyond that, that's it. I just render this, drop it back into the video, and we're good to go. So like I said, this is really all I wanted, just to take an opportunity, since I am listening. I was doing this anyway, just go through and provide a little rundown of how to try to get your audio a little bit more competitive and a little louder, also to match the volume of the songs that you're dropping into your video, so that you aren't blowing the ears off of your listener when they go from your spoken word to the music that's in your videos. So thank you so much for watching. This video will go live tomorrow. It's just a little update on some of the brush removal in the backyard, and we'll see you next time.